And now we're going to bring you that major new study on childcare, the biggest of its kind, so taps into every parent's worry, guilt, concern. Well, parent of two, Chris Cuomo, has been looking at the study. He'll lead us off. Chris.
Diane, the simple reality is that in this country today, most parents have to work. In fact, more now than ever. So they need daycare. Just look at the numbers. 2.4 million kids go to daycare every day. And the question raised in this new report is, what effect can daycare have on those kids?
Chances are you or someone you know relies on daycare. Parents hope these places provide a safe environment that nurtures kids when they can't be around.
Everyone's very busy, and my wife and I are both professionals.
Now, a new study reveals the realities of what can happen in daycare, including a potentially negative impact on children's behavior. Researchers tracked more than 1,000 children and found the more time a child spends in childcare, the more likely it was for their 6th grade teachers to report behavior problems.
You're interacting with others, and you haven't mastered words and dealing with people, and you hit or you fight or you push.
But the study also found daycare environments can yield positive results, including making children better talkers. Researchers found kids in childcare had higher 5th grade vocabulary scores.
She's got an outstanding vocabulary, and I'm sure that her time in the school here has contributed to that.
ABC News has followed the struggles parents face with daycare for 15 years, including this 1992 primetime investigation, where we uncovered daycare centers with little adult supervision, troubling to any mom or dad. But this new study points out while the quality of daycare a child receives matters, it still isn't as important as the quality of your parenting.
There's no question, daycare is never a substitute for parenting.
And why is that? Basically because to have your kid behave well in school, you need that constant impact of someone telling them the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do. Who does that better, Diane, than mom and dad?
That's right. We want to turn now because we have one of the doctors who, in fact, has been part of this study. She's joining us from Raleigh, North Carolina. It's Margaret Birchinall. She is a research professor of psychology at the University of North Carolina, also a mother herself whose grown children went to daycare. And thank you, Dr. Birchinall, for being with us. I just want to examine some of the results of the study from the start, if we can. We're talking about parents dropping off a lot of kids at daycare, and when the word comes back that some of them will come away with more disruptive behavior than other kids, what kind of disruptive behavior and what's causing it?
Well, our results suggest that children who had more center-based child care, more than, say, 2 or 3 years, are showing more arguing, talking back to teachers, perhaps hitting and fighting, not following rules, but just slightly more, not the kind that would make you go into a classroom and say, this child had child care and that child didn't.
So it's slightly more. We're not talking juvenile delinquency here.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay, just want to clear that up for every parent out there. Now, we heard Chris say that parents are still the primary influence, so parenting can counteract this. What would you tell parents to do?
Parents need to figure out what makes their lives work, because they are by far the most important factor in their child's development. So for some parents, this might mean having both parents work and use child care so they have enough money. For other parents, it might mean making decisions to let one parent, usually the mother, stay home.
Well, you know, those are really, really tough decisions. And the difference between just daycare and good daycare is another really important difference you found in the study. And as we saw, good daycare can result in better vocabulary scores, which is a big indicator of good grades. So how do you know you're getting the better daycare?
Well, you really want to look at what the teacher or caregiver is doing with the children in the child care setting. Is she talking with them? Does she seem to like them? Does she enjoy them? Or is she kind of being like a second grade teacher and sitting behind the desk and not really interacting very much with the children? How are the children interacting with each other? Are they being nice kids, or are you seeing a lot of negative behavior?
And drop in on the daycare. Drop in unannounced. And if they don't like it, that's a signal.
That's right. If they don't want you there, then I would be worried.
Yes, and I know a number of parents who've gotten together, and one of you drops in periodically so that you do it as a group. It doesn't mean that you have to take off work every time to do it.
Exactly. And when you drop in, look to see what they're doing with somebody besides your child, because that's probably how they're interacting with your child when you're not there.
All right, so I want to come back to the bottom line here. The result of the study, you as a mom of two who had kids in daycare, you would say to parents out there, you are not saying don't use daycare. You're saying watch out for these signs and make sure that your daycare is as good as it can possibly be?
Yes, and do not worry. Child care did not matter nearly as much as parenting. So you worrying about being the best parent you can be is the most important thing that you can do.
And you say the best parents, and the study confirms this too, are those who enjoy spending their time with their kids. It's not just being there, but enjoy it.
Yes, who play with their children, talk to their children, and really love and enjoy the time that they spend with their children.
Well, Dr. Birchinall, again, we thank you for being with us this morning. Toni Morrison said to me once on this show that she thought the most important thing in parenting was, do your eyes light up? And does the child know that your eyes light up when they walk in the room? All right, thank you again.
And do theirs light up? Thank you.
And do theirs light up?